This week, we're having a change from tools and we're revisiting our Game Boy case. So this is a project that we made a couple of years ago now, and it's a Game Boy Advance SP and a micro and a bunch of games. And if you like myself, I'm not really into, don't really have any of the modern consoles, but I did have one of these. This is my Game Boy from a long time ago. So I dug this out a couple of years ago to make this case and to show a great use for Shadow Foam. But this is Shadow Foam Original. So we're going to be changing this up today, and we've added to our Game Boy Advance game collection, so it will no longer fit in this case. So today we're going to be leveling this up, we're going to be moving it into a new case, and we've picked up this case here. This is from Amazon. This is, the brand is Smatree. Don't know how you say that, Smatree. So in here it's a zip up black kind of canvas case with a nice handle on it. Slightly bigger than this, slightly wider and slightly deeper, but it has got kind of an insert already there, so we're gonna have to cut this away and then we can replace it with a piece of Shadow Foam, and then we'll be able to kind of cut a layout. But we've also got a few other changes. So this is, like I said, my Game Boy Advance from a long time ago. What year is this? 2002, so I was 12 when I had that. And the screen is very dark on this, and in doing some research I realised that they've come a long way. People are still using these, and subsequently I've picked up this. This is amazing. This is how people are still using Game Boy Advances, and this one is from Boxy Pixel, and this is a milled aluminium Game Boy Advance that's been upgraded, so it doesn't have the AA batteries that they used to have. It's now got a lithium battery in it, and it has a USB-C charger, and it's got aluminium buttons, and it's got a really highly upgraded screen. The colour on it now compared to the old one, and this is an IPS V2 screen. It's super bright, so this is a heck of an upgrade from this old thing. So I've picked up a few job lots off eBay, and we now have heaps and heaps more games. So this is kind of a pretty typical setup, I suppose, for anyone who's got this kind of system, Game Boys. You kind of have, because they had so many different generations, they had this style, then they had the SP, then they had the micro, and usually you've either picked up one and not sold the other, or if you've collected, you've probably got loads. And that's where Shadow Foam kind of comes into its own, because you can, no matter how many games you've got or what consoles you've got, we can get a blank piece of foam to fit in this case, and then we can lay it out however we want and cut it all in. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is cut this internal piece out here, and then we'll get a bit of foam. So it's usually pretty standard. They're stitched around the edge and then a few little smears of hot glue in the bottom. So that is no big task to just pull that insert out. Right, so now we've done that, we're just going to trim up around the edge and make sure we've not left any bits of this plastic poking out. Oh, that looks pretty good actually. Right then, so we've got a piece of Shadow Foam here. This is 30mm red, and this is just an offcut that we've had. That's roughly the same size, but we can now trim it exactly to the size of this case. And obviously having this insert makes that easier, because we can use this as a profile to cut around. So this piece of foam here would be roughly around about £9–10 from our website. The cutting kit that we're using is our full cutting kit with the anti-cut gloves, which I'd recommend using whenever you're using our scalpels. We do have offers on our website, so if you spend over £25, you'll get a free basic cutting pack, which is a knife, a scalpel, five blades, some instructions and a sticker. And if you spend over £75, you get a full cutting kit. This is an RRP of £20, and you'll get this free with orders over £75. And that's what I'm using here. You also get some glue in there as well, so if we do make any mistakes, we can glue the foam back in and try again. So all we're doing is we're going to place that where it needs to go in the corner, and then we can just at the moment I'm just roughing it to size, and then we'll come back and trim it and put the radiuses in. So we've cut the shape out, but before we put it in the case, we do have a radiused corner along the bottom, so what we've got to do is just make an angled cut all around this bottom corner to make sure that it sits flat in the bottom of the case. We don't want it kind of hitting that resistance on the corners and then being held off the base of the case by a few mil, because you end up with like a bit of a bounce in there, which you don't want. Yeah, that fits like a glove, and I can feel that's pushing right down to the bottom, and we've got a great blank canvas there now to lay out all of the games, lay out the console, and make a nice looking insert, nice looking organizer. Now all we have to do is come up with a layout. So obviously we want to put the console, the main part of the build, in the center, and then the big trick with this is now fitting as many games as we can in here, so we kind of have everything in one place. Now we're going to stand them all up, and we can fit a lot more in that way. Sadly we can't see the artwork then, so we don't know which the games are, but we wouldn't be able to fit many in if we didn't do that. So we're going to have 6 games, we're going to have 3 rows, so we'll end up with 12, 24, 36 games, then we've got a few left here. We'll probably try and make those into 7s, I think, so it just brings the width in. And then that should be enough. We're fitting a lot more in there than the last case. So let's start by cutting in the console itself, nice and square, and we'll do these first 6 on either side. That looks wonky now. Not too happy with that. Maybe I should do them lying down and then do like layers. Do something a bit clever so you can see what the games are. Okay, so we're gonna go for a slight change of plan. This is what always happens when you start doing the layouts. And basically, when you stand them all up, you can't see any of the artwork at all. Instead of having them all accessible at the same time, we're going to lie them down and we're going to stack them 3 on top of each other. So we're going to do that. So slight change, but we've already started cutting the top ones there, so we're going to carry on and get those cut in. So that's all of the games and the consoles cut in, and I'm really happy with that. Obviously we changed tact a little bit from the old design and from what we were originally going to do. Standing up the games does look quite good, and it's quite an effective, quite a cool looking case when you do that, but it is a bit tricky when you can't see any of the titles, you don't know what anything is, so you end up pulling them all in and out trying to find what you're looking for. And this way you can have all of the popular ones on the top, and then you can have the ones you're not using as much underneath, and we've gone down there 3 games. So that's a pretty good use of the space. I'm pretty happy with that. So all we've got to do now is drop it into the case. And that is a job done. Smashing. Obviously this is a great little traveling game case. If you have something similar, it's a great way to store all the little parts. Obviously we haven't put a charger or a cable in here because there's still a bit of space. We could put them underneath the console here or underneath the console here, but we'll probably you could just have wires in a separate little bag. But obviously there's loads of space. You could change this design up and have it however you wanted it to fit your gear. So let us know what you think of this, or what you could use it for. I mean, another console I love was the Game Gear. We would like to do a Game Gear case at some point, but this is a bit of a change for us, doing a retro gaming case. We have done loads of different retro gaming stuff in the past. But if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.